Hey guys, it's your girl. It is your sister, Cynthia J. If you are up here on Restream Live, tune in, tune in. I am right now trying to chime on in through my other social media apps. So bear with your sister. Go ahead and hit that like button. Share, share, share. Hit that like button and share, share, share. If you are just getting off from work, wherever you're coming from, come on now, join in and hit that like button and share with your sister today. Come on in, come on in. I know that everyone had an amazing week. Yes, I know you guys had an amazing week. I know everyone had an amazing beginning of October month. I am so excited for you guys. I'm even excited for myself. And I definitely can say it has been an amazing week. So go ahead, hit that like button and share, share, share. Hit that like button and share, share, share. I'm still getting up here trying to get myself together on the live feed. So bear with your sister, your girl, Cynthia J, psalmist, birth and doula, herbalist, spiritual healer, and much more. I am truly excited. So go ahead, hit that like button and share with family and friends right now. Hit that like button. Let everybody know your sister is live right now as I'm going up here right now, chiming in and sharing. I am hitting my like buttons on my TikTok and Instagram. So if you are on all social media platforms, go on ahead, hit that like button and share, share, share. Again, greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Greetings, everyone. Chime on in. This is your sister, your psalmist, your birthing doula, your inspirational healer, and much more, Cynthia J. And I am here on live right now with you today. I missed you guys. Last week we had to postpone and cancel, but we are on here today. Peace and love to you, Missy. I see you, beautiful. I pray that your week was lovely. Welcome into the month of October. I'm excited. Some people will be not excited about October, but welcome to the month of October, the month of harvest, the month of a new season, a season like no other. The season is beyond the understanding of the minds of man. I love you too, beautiful. And I mean that sincerely. I do. I love all you guys. Go ahead and hit that like button. Thanks for guys who are tuning in on TikTok. Again, I uplift you in adoration. I know that your week has been amazing. For those who didn't really have a good week, I send blessings, love, and peace and light to you. It is a grand evening, and we are just getting started. I know that we all are just excited about the month of October. Some people get a little scared, but you know, you can change the outcome of your destiny. You can change the outcome of all things. And this is the season of a harvest. So you are harvesting your season this year. So get ready for what's about to come. I'm just excited because we are in a new season that's going to shoot off into a grand season of next year. And I'm truly excited. So welcome everyone who is tuning in TikTok, Restream, Instagram, Facebook Live, all across. Truly indeed. I missed you guys. I really missed you guys, like seriously. So before I go any further, for those who don't know, hey guys, if you're out here in the USA, in Virginia, let me represent Hot Mix Radio Station. They are having a Soul by the River October 14th at 3 p.m., which is being sponsored by Rappahannock and other amazing sponsors that is contributing, other amazing artists like Brother Jarrell and all the artists before that was there with me. This year, I won't be there. Yet again, they will be there. So go out there. The event is free. Share the love. Bring your family out there. Get a tent and some lawn chairs before the weather changes up again on the East Coast. If you on the East Coast, represent all the way from up north down south, the East Coast. Get out there, enjoy the weather while you can, because it's getting ready to switch up. It's already been kind of crazy with the weather, but it's really going to switch up. So tune in with them for real, for real. Last but not least, I'm just giving y'all some updates. I know everybody heard about yesterday with the whole EMF thing with FEMA in the US. I know parts across the continent in UK had it too. There was some concerns about that because there are some people who are in abusive situations or in dangerous situations, and it was said how would this be a good thing for those who are in something that may be dangerous. And so some people turned off their phones, said that was going to be better. Some people said, oh, that's just a conspiracy theory. Hey, love on Instagram, thank you for chiming in. And so that's my honey. And so anyway, with that being said, I definitely can tell you I didn't play around with it. Majority of the time, people say conspiracy is a conspiracy. They like, that's not true. But for me, I'm going to let you know now. Don't let everything fly past you. Use your discernment. So that's my best suggestion I give to all my brothers and sisters out there. Use your best gift of discernment. For real, for real. So with that being said, I'll go over some other breaking news right after today's topic, which I'm just truly excited. Go ahead, hit that like button and share. This is a thing that's holding women accountable, but my brothers still can join in too. So I don't sleep on no one when it comes to what is going on in the world today. So today's topic, as for some of you that's on TikTok, you only got the short view of it, but today's topic is episode 36, and it's on have we healed from our childhood traumas? Have we healed from our childhood trauma wounds? Because if for most people that's seeing this new thing that's going around with on TikTok and Instagram Reels and Facebook, there are people who's doing what they call this journaling, some with the shadow work thing, but it starts with their inner childhood. Again, for those who just chiming in on TikTok and Restream Facebook and Instagram, I'm your psalmist, your birthing doula, your sister, Cynthia J. So again, this is episode 36. Have we healed from our childhood wounds and traumas? So anyway, as we see that there is so much going on still more now than ever. You may think that just in your environment that it's okay where you're at and out and you say nothing else can detour that. Little do you know your environment has some trauma issues in and outside of that. How many of you guys can contest that some of us had childhood trauma, some of us didn't. Some of us may not even know we had childhood trauma. And look at the childhood traumas that are going on in today now generation. I was just having a conversation with one of my sisters, and we were just talking about how people in the world now are overly sensitive more now than ever before. And how we were growing up, you know, certain elders from the generation, because we're generation, the millennium, the X millenniums. And so with that being said, we were during a time where I'm not going to say we weren't sensitive ourselves, but not to the point where people are now. And a lot of the things that occurred, people didn't know how to heal from in today's generation. So now you have same issues going into your adulthood and it hasn't been changed. This is something that is always talked about in every other podcast, in every other talk show, and every other news article. You don't see it too much in newspapers, but it's there. It's talked about, but it's not talked about enough anymore. And that even though we have childhood trauma, we know we have the trauma, we may recognize it, but have we healed the wounds instead of bandaging the wounds up? That is what I had to realize for myself and for those who are around me. You know, for me, I grew up in a pretty decent family, but still there was some childhood trauma wounds there that I thought that I got over with. Doing it with the purple. Thank you. And the blue. I know I have the purple and the blue going on today. I'm full of colors in life. But anyway, with the childhood wounds, you thinking that you overcame it, but you really haven't overcome the childhood wounds. And it still merges into your adult life until something ignites the situation. It could be something in a new relationship with a friend, or with your spouse or your significant other, whoever it may be. It could be like we talked about the week before ago with Kirk Franklin's situation. And childhood trauma is something that we have to hit on the nub, because again, everything happens from home. Blessings, Sister H. I see you, love. Everything happens from home and outside of the home, in our environment, in our surroundings. It's also what we put in us, physically, mentally, spiritually, and how it reflects our emotions. And dealing with a world that's so extra sensitive now, and you sometimes you feel like you stepping on eggshells. You don't know if you're saying the right thing or not. Because of somebody's childhood trauma, you may not know what they went through. Oh, okay, sister. You can't hear me. Can you hear me now, sister? I know she's saying she can't hear me on here. Let me make sure. But childhood trauma tends to be one of those things where people just, you know, don't take the time to really go inside of self and really see if they have really healed, instead of bandaging up wounds. I hear you, sis. It's okay as well. And so, with that being said, we haven't healed the wounds. We have just bandaged it, and that's another word you haven't heard often: bandaging wounds. But you've heard heal for a minute. People got to heal. You got to self heal. You have to do this. But how do you self heal? You also hear, when you're self healing, what methods should you do? What if you don't know how to self heal through childhood trauma that still merges into your adult life that you thought you got over with? Like, seriously. And so I always tell those who I personally have my encounters with a lot, and thank you guys for the likes. Hit that like button and share. Welcome to all those who still tuning in. This is your girl, your psalmist, Cynthia J, your birthing doula, your inspirational healer, and your herbalist, aka Cynthia J, your host. So again, the topic is on episode 36, how we heal from childhood trauma. I have been led to come back to this because, again, you hear people talk about it and they skip right back over it. Then you won't hear it no more. Then you hear people talk about it and skip back over it. Well, guess what? There's been a video going around, and this happened in Florida, and I don't know if you guys heard about it. This young boy, 11 years old, was being bullied. Again, this is a part of childhood trauma, outside of your home, and bullied over a bag of potato chips in Florida. Bullied over a bag of potato chips. And the boys who were older than him, they were about around the age of 13, and said, and he went running to the vehicle him and his mom had driven. She had a gun underneath of her seat, as the article stated, and the videos were showing. And the boy, because he was being bullied and hound down over a bag of potato chips, he felt to protect himself, so he gets the gun that his mom has and is registered and shoots. And the bullets just go flying everywhere. And now this young boy is locked up in jail because he was scared for himself over a bag of potato chips that was his. Like, how crazy is that in this world today? Over a bag of potato chips. Potato chips. So now this young kid is traumatized. He's 11 years old right now, sitting in juvenile detention jail in Florida. He's desperately crying for his mother. They really haven't even seen him since then. And the judge still has not even said anymore, but he probably will be tried. And it breaks my heart because It's been said that these individuals have been picking on this child. And it's happening in our community of people. It's happening outside of the community of our people. It's just so much. And now this young boy is traumatized, and he's going to have this wound for the rest of his life if he doesn't learn how and have someone to give him the guidance to self heal. It's going to take more than just his mother's love. It's going to take a community of us to work together, to heal together. But in order to heal together, we got to learn how to come against and combat against the things that we were taught by society, things we were taught in school that is not even really working. These young kids are taught certain things and it's not even working. It's not. Everybody right now, as you hear the new topics that's going on, mental illness, mental illness. You heard mental illness when I was growing up. I don't know about for most of you guys here in the United States, but mental illness was a thing, but that was for somebody who had, and most people's minds would say somebody that went crazy and psycho and they in a psych ward or something. That's what we thought mental illness was, not now you going through life and life is putting the stress on you. All of a sudden you just can't take it no more and you just depression and all this stuff. We didn't look at that as mental illness. If you was stressed and depressed, you were stressed and depressed. But it is getting out of hand. It is getting out of hand. And I do notice that with that being said, it's just to the point where again, when people get older, when those children get older, especially this generation, their wounds are not going to be healed. Everything is going to be bandaged up. Their wounds will not be healed. Everything is going to be bandaged up. Their spiritual wound is wide open. They're going to be spiritually damaged, physically damaged, mentally damaged, emotionally damaged. And some of us on here right now online is going through that. If you saying that you're not, you're lying to yourself. And I'm going to say that because I at one time was lying to myself. This is an ongoing thing that we don't hold ourselves accountable for, that we don't recognize, especially as mothers. The mothers out here now have to put more work in 10 times harder because you don't realize as a mom in some areas, for some mothers, this is not for all. If this is for you and if it's not for you. There are some mothers that don't look at certain things that they do that causes some of these behaviors. Some mothers don't even take the time to recognize what's going on in their kids. And some mothers don't know what's going on because the children hide behind it. Same thing with the fathers. Some fathers don't know what's going on. And that's why, and I had this conversation again with another young lady, and she was saying, well, I can't do it all by myself. I need the father to do his part too. And that is true. Have you made the acknowledgement to tell this to the father? Because sometimes, just like we're going to use Kirk Franklin a little bit, sometimes they don't know how to get through the trauma that they endured from childhood. Some people haven't really healed and mended that wound. They just put it back behind them, it's bandaged, and then somebody does something and they unravel the bandage right off, and that wound just spread wider and wider and wider. I mean, think about it. Another thing, has this trauma become a livelihood? Some of the things that we do from our childhood has become our livelihood in our relationships with ourselves, with our spouses, with our children. Then our children is doing the same thing. Whatever is in the livelihood is going into the schools, it's going out in their social circle, in their workplaces, in sports, if they're in school, in sports and whatever else, where they go traveling to. It is there. And then other kids pick it up and then they're bringing it home. And then again, you know how people used to say, hurt people hurt people. Well, children are doing the same thing. Children are going out here hurting each other. They don't even realize they're doing it. They don't even realize they are doing it. And I wouldn't be real with you if I didn't say my child was going through that. Because I have these conversations with my child all the time. I said, "What's going on? How was school?" I always ask. I always ask. And she will let me know what's going on. And then she'll tell me how things went, and I'll let her know, "Well, do you know that you kind of started that yourself, my love?" "Well, it was just a joke." "No, you can't joke like that. Because again, you don't know what your classmates or friends or whoever they may be, peers, what they have encountered, what they went through. You're unaware. And that's something that is talked about in some schools, not a lot. Talked about in some families, not a lot. Again, these are the things that we have to hit on the target to prevent them as much as we can from escalating in to their families when they get older, so that they won't make the wrong decisions. They won't be guided in the wrong direction. And so, again, it does become your livelihood. Welcome for those who are just chiming in onto TikTok, Instagram, and Restream. I'm your co-host, Cynthia J, on the Cynthia J Show. Our topic is on episode 36. Have we healed from our childhood traumas and wounds, or are they bandaged? So, again, I know for myself, even though it was a different time of genre back then, again, I didn't realize that I was bringing some into my adult life. I thought that I had healed from it because I told myself, okay, when I was young, especially when my parents were separating, and with my father's lifestyle that he was enduring into, and being an ex-military, I saw a lot of things, and I said to myself, "I'm not gonna allow myself to be in something like this. I don't wanna carry that into a relationship with anyone, whoever I'm blessed to be with." I didn't desire to do that. But then there were some things that would be done by an individual, and it would trigger, and I would get flashbacks on certain things. So, that was in my younger early years, in my 20s, and in the process of it, I still had to go through it. I'm glad that I went through it, because in the process of going through it, it helped me to know who I could go to. Because there were times where I didn't know who I can talk with to talk about these situations. That's another thing. Who can you go talk to talk about these situations? Not everybody want to go to a counselor. There's some people that don't even believe in going to psychiatrists and counselors. Now, there's some psychiatrists I definitely understand. There's some situations I definitely understand. It's not, you shouldn't be going to every psychiatrist, like seriously, because there's some people out there that will want to try to classify you deemed as crazy, and you do got to be careful with that, especially out here in the United States. You don't know what's being done. Which, by the way, I was watching this movie, right, and it was on Tubi. I can't even think of the name of it, but it was a situation where this lady had endured something in her early years, and she was married with her husband, and it had to deal with, her father said from the very beginning of the guy she didn't condone him to be with. He was a musician or something like that. And her father can sense, as a father, a man, that something wasn't right about this guy. But she went on ahead and married him anyway. And then her dad ended up passing away. And when he died, he left her a nice lump sum. So, needless to say, there were some people that still told her how he was, and again, he was making promises he couldn't keep. As back in the day, they would say, "Oh, this is just a person that's a dreamer. They're not trying to actually live what they're supposed to be doing as a man." And long story short, she was going to a psychiatrist because she had taken care of her father when he was on his deathbed, and she had lost a child during her pregnancy of their marriage. So she was going to this lady, not knowing that this lady the whole entire time was an ex-con, a criminal who had been getting away with murder in other states, and then turned around and was doing the same thing where she lived at, and her husband was messing around with her, was having infidelity with this lady. And this lady was crazy. She didn't like to be called crazy. Well, at the end, to make a long story short, her going to the psychiatrist after that really made her realize that Even though she needed it, she learned that you couldn't trust everybody. Her own best friend was telling her this. She said something about your psychiatrist wasn't right. Come find out that psychiatrist was fooling around, cheating with her husband. Yeah, cheating with her husband, making her feel like she's crazy. And the whole entire time, she was being set up, being played. And he was spending, her husband had been spending all of the money that she entrusted her husband with from her father, because her father had a business. So if you're gonna go out here and decide to do a psychiatrist or a counselor or anything like that, make sure that even though you're going through what you're going through, make sure that they are somebody that don't somebody you know. These things do happen. These things do happen. Make sure it's nobody that you know, your spouse know. Make sure it's with someone that's outside, that's never been anywhere near anyone of your circle, your family, whoever it may be, may know. It's kind of hard to do that if you're a celebrity or something like that. But again, just try your very best. There's nothing wrong with having some guidance, a spiritual counselor, and so forth during the process of helping you heal. I do see a lot of men and women go do retreats that help with childhood trauma. For the men, they go to men conferences, men retreats, where they go through counseling sessions of people they never met before, but they have actually talked about similarities of what they have gone through. Women have retreats. One of the retreats that I do love, that I've talked to Amazing Sister on here before, I would love to go to the retreat with Queen Afua with Sacred Womb Healing. That's a retreat for women who have gone through childhood trauma with their mother, even if it's with their father, but especially with their mother. And there's a lot of healing in that process. And you do everything. They teach you yoga, they teach you how to meditate within the process besides just doing yoga stretching. They also do womb healing for the womb of the woman. So many things outside of that. It's like a list that goes on and on. They even teach you techniques on the proper foods to eat to help you. Because a lot of people don't know, with childhood trauma, it still has a partake with the foods you eat. That's a part of a little bit of childhood trauma. Well, you're gonna say to Cynthia, how is that so? Because you're eating, if you're eating something of flesh, you're actually, and especially if they haven't been eating things grass fed, then you're dealing with the trauma of what they endured to wherever they're coming from. And so with that being said, now that's in your body. And remember, every nerve system, your stomach is your solar. It's connected to every part of you in your body, all the way to your brain. And it does cause an effect. People do not believe that, but that is one of them too as well. I've known someone over time when they were younger that they all they ever had was peanut butter and jelly as their food, and now you can't. They freak out over peanut butter and jelly because of the trauma that they had was very, very heavy and those times back then. So is this trauma for some of us, is some of the childhood trauma from generation to generation? Yes, it is. Some of the trauma, and this is something else I was talking about yesterday. I said we are in the times of the G generations. But when I think before us and during our time of our ancestors way before, that was centuries ago. So with that being said, it can pass down whatever we endure. Just like if you want to talk about some childhood traumas for some people back in the day from slavery, whatever they used to say you were able to gather up as food, that's what you had to eat. The leftovers, that's a part of trauma. You had to eat the leftovers of what the slave master gave. And then you carry that on into the next generation that we call as soul food today. And don't get me wrong, that soul food may be great and it tastes lovely, because I used to work in a soul food restaurant and your sister used to soul food cook down. Yes, I did. And you looking at me like, hold on, for real? Yes, I did. I did. I was working at a super restaurant and I cooked everywhere, everything just about down to the pig. Did I eat a part of those back then? No, I did not. However, again, those what became a delicacy, and yet it still became a trauma because it will remind you of what we came from. And for some people, they will still hold on to the hurt and the anger and the frustration because they didn't really heal from the anger and frustration. Instead of taking that anger and frustration and putting it elsewhere and allowing what that generation went through to use it for another way to maneuver, to revamp, to re-strategize around, besides just, people still say, oh, but that is a way with the food. However, for some it's not, if they still can keep it in their mind or what their grandparents told them and so forth. Because I was one of them. I also can say, has this trauma has more trauma like added on over time with something new to what we're going through now. Yes. If you guys are all over the world, it doesn't matter where you're at or where you're from. If you really are looking at what's going on, and some of the TV, social media, and media news give you partial truth, but I will give credit to these social media platforms now, what makes it where you can see the truth with your very own eyes, what's going on now here in the US, here in other continents and parts of other countries. And you can see it's nothing that's been revamped and re-altered and added on with IG and all of that. You can see what's going on. That's just like what we saw a month ago, what was going on in Alabama at the riverboat. That was backed up years of childhood trauma from generation to generation until now. People getting tired of it. Look what's still going on now with circling around on social media. Brothers just getting off of work, going home to their family, and all of a sudden police officers just showing up and they don't even know why. They just getting out their car. And then the next thing you know, they trying to arrest you. Then your child is sitting there right there watching. Childhood trauma. And that's going to add on to the next. Everything we have endured has been childhood trauma, which is still adding on. And now, as adults, we go through adulthood trauma. Yeah. We don't look at that as that. We just see, oh, I'm just going to go overcome it and I'll be okay. But no, it adds to that because now automatically you're saying, oh, I'm not going to allow myself to go through that. And I don't blame you. I do not blame you one bit because I know I probably wouldn't. But what we go through now, add from the past trauma of our ancestors to the current, to the present, and to the now, is what are we going to do about this? How are we going to go about this? We talk about it, but how and what are we going to do about this? I know I share this with you because for me, and as I was talking to one of my neighborhood young ladies, and when she walked past, I couldn't let her walk past. It was my spirit was drawn to pull her. And I said, honey, let me speak with you. And I said, let me speak with you. I didn't say, let me talk to you. I said, let me speak with you. Do you know we stood there for a whole hour and a half and we talked? I shared my life with her, letting her know everything around us. And you'd be very amazed. Some of this generation, they don't know as much as they should, because if you're going to a public school and in your household, depending on your background is, don't talk about these things, you don't know how to counteract what you're going to encounter in the public school or in social society and other parts of the countries, because every part of the country has a different dynamic how they do things. You don't know how to handle it. And as I was telling her about this, she was so shocked and wild. It enlightened her. And I told her, I said, all people want to go to YouTube and TikTok and all these other things, but yet, remember, when you're going into these things, they go by what you're watching and it's circling around and it's popping up other stuff that you normally don't look at. So guess what you're going to get? You're going to get some stuff that's going to look, so it's almost like, okay, if You're watching something on, let's just use this as an example, Love and Hip Hop. The next thing you know, you're gonna see some other dramatic sitcom skit that's gonna be ghettos, I don't know what, and then it's entertaining to everybody else, and everybody keeps liking that and sharing that and following that. But they really not teaching you anything that you need to know not to do. And they're not also teaching you what you should do and how you should go about it. Everything is just not what to do, or everything is this is what I would do. Okay, this is what you would do, but how would you go about it? Should you do anything about it? Why should you do anything about it? What are some techniques and methods you can try to maneuver and then add your own after you find your way of how to get there? That is something that I do not see like that much anymore. And so when you're up here, you're looking at these YouTube videos, reels, other links. I can talk about God all day, but am I leading you still on how to do certain things? Am I leading you still on how to get to point A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K until we hit Y, Z? That is the thing now. Because now, just like kids, there are some adults who are easily influenced real quick like kids. I am meeting adults who are so easily influenced, and then anything that has happened to them in that present moment will transcend them right back to their childhood trauma real quick. Real quick. And I'm like, dang, what happened with them? It's like you sit back and I always get this question, and people ask me, well, you should go work at this kind of place and you should do this because you're so good at this. And I say to myself, I'm the type of person where I've been led to just go outward. I just can't sit in one place. And it's not that I wouldn't like to, but the way how everything is shifting now with people since the pandemic, people were already going through stuff. They still had a lot of healing that was necessary and they needed to be done, but they didn't finish healing. And then they added on to what they were already going through, and then they just covered it up with a bandage. And the next thing you know, bow. It's all people are all over the place. People are all over the place. Their emotions are all over the place. They don't care. It's if it ain't about them, that's it. It is bad. And that is what children are doing. They taking in what some parents or some elders or some adults around them who have not healed from their childhood trauma, and now it's in them. So then they taking it. Just like how you hear people talk about, well, these kids they get bullied like this because they may be bullied at home. Yeah, because nobody there is handling the situation. Nobody there is proactive. But then I'm hearing, well, that's because the parent got to work all the time and they doing this and they doing that. I understand, I overstand, I salute you for all that you can do. But when we have these children, we also have to remind them the same way we were reminded, the same way we had to go through things to let them know they are not alone, that they are not the only ones that go through it, that we've been through it. All that's been done is revamped, and we're going to heal through this together. We're going to go through this together. We're going to win this together. We're going to overcome this together. So if you're out there and you're going through something by yourself, just know that when you're feeling alone, peace and love, because I see you over there. If you're feeling alone, just know that you're not alone. You have so many ancestral angels around you. You have so many people who are hiding behind the scenes right in front of you, and you don't even know it. That could be your helper. They are there. They've been through. They're going through right now. You'd be very amazed. And so that is why it's so important to know and to learn more about yourself from what you've gone through and start writing. Now I understand why the whole thing of this popular thing with shadow working is, because now you're getting your journal and you're writing down the things that you have been fighting from childhood and it's still migrating with you in your adulthood. And then your children are enduring it too because they came in the midst of it. Peace and love to those who are on TikTok. I see you, Miss Atkins and Monte. Thank you guys for joining in. Hit that like button and share. Go ahead and subscribe to my platform. Again, I'm your co-host, Cynthia J, on the Cynthia J Show. Your psalmist, your birthing doula, your herbalist, your inspirational healer, and much more. So yes, that's why it's so important that we go and we take the time to really, really, really pay attention to what is going on, because it's affecting our community, it's affecting our people, it is affecting our children, it is affecting our children to come. So for those who haven't physically had kids, trust me, they already embedded in you. It is affecting them too, because they're coming this way with you. That is why sometimes, it's not always meant for you to do things outside your home all the time, because you got to handle what's going on inside your home, inside you. So, all the mothers out there, if you're going through something that you haven't let go from childhood, I really recommend, I send my love to you for to go out there and to really take some time for you so that you can take this to your daughters. Because the girls of this generation, I don't know if I don't know if anybody over here in the US noticed it, but the girls of this generation, they are totally different. And the boys of this generation are totally different. Yes, we see the difference and you see what's going on, things that are acceptance now. But now the girls are more aggressive, like they tapping into masculine, and some of the boys are becoming more femme. And then there's some of the boys who tend to be more wiser than the girls, because the emotions are all over the place. We don't know what's going on. And it's coming from the mothers too. I can put myself out there because I wanted them. But once I learned and saw what I was doing, now I know I have to work on it. It was told to me, it was being hard headed, but now I have to work on it. I have to. It's a must. It's necessary, because we are the master teacher, just like the fathers. I salute to all my fathers out there. I'm seeing so many fathers now who are single parents who are out here really trying to get out there, and those who are lost because they've been gravitated by the things of the world. I send out my love and my prayers to you to come back, because we need you. You are necessary. We need you more now than ever, because there are some forces out here that's trying to keep us from building together. There are some forces out here that's trying to keep us from building together. Let me repeat that again. There are some forces out there that's trying to keep us from building together, trying to keep the families apart, trying to keep the children from listening to the parents, and the parents from listening to their elder parents, not learning how to heal, not learning how to forgive. So just know, this is not just a physical attack, this is spiritual too. Because we are breath of life, which makes us living beings. Welcome again for those who are just joining in this of Cynthia J Show on the podcast. Go ahead, hit that like button, share with your family, your friends, nieces and nephews, brothers and sisters, whoever it may be. I'm telling you, it's necessary. So if y'all haven't got a chance, y'all know, if you're over here in the States, the elections and stuff are coming up soon. I don't get into all the politicking. I really don't anymore. Back in the day, I used to hear people say the lesser the evil, it's better to deal with the devil you know than the devil you don't know. I don't even entertain that anymore. But again, I'm not here to judge you. I'm putting that out there for you to understand and to overstand. Find thyself, know thyself, heal thyself, love thyself, and win with thyself. When you do this, it heals your family too. It heals your children too, and they will not gather it into the next generation. So I salute to all those who have been following me. I thank you guys for subscribing and sharing continuously. If you have any topics that you suggest for me to talk about, go ahead and hit that in the chat, in the comment box. Let your sister know all my information there. You can email me, you can DM me, any of it, any of the topics that you would love for me to talk about and to go into. You know, I always make sure I am led by the spirit, flow with the spirit of the ancestors. I have to, because it's necessary. Because we are a loss of people and we are losing our way. Our children are losing their way. You can go to other places and parts of the world and you see that the children are learning to get along. They're learning different languages. They are masterminds of so many gifts. But I'm not knocking over here in the US, but we are being beat down, hurt down, and so many things. So, to the parents that never thought to one day have to self educate yourself, do so. Don't be ashamed. I'm learning new things every day, and you are too. And also, sometimes listen to your children, because they could be spitting some wisdom to you, and you don't even know it. All of a sudden, you be like, hold up, wait a minute. Who is that kid over there? Where did that come from? Who gave you that? Who told you that? And you know you didn't teach the child, and then the child that tells you nobody else taught him that and said it to him, you know they have the gift. So teach them to embrace their genuine, passionate, pure gift. The same thing with you. It's never too late to fix the issues. It's only too late when you don't take the chance to act on them. So I will let you guys go for the meantime. If you'd like to subscribe again and hit that like button and share and follow, you can also follow me on YouTube. Type in Cynthia J. Stretch your faith. I have some encouraging music. You, your sister, when I tell you, I thank the Most High for the encouraging music that was given to me. I roll with it. I play it every day to encourage myself. I play it every day to encourage myself. So let it be also an encouragement to you. But with that being said, I thank you guys for joining in. Make sure y'all stay tuned. Keep up with the current news that's going on today. Do be careful. Use your gift of discernment to distinguish the things that is being created by IGs. Also, be careful of scammers out there, guys. There are a lot of scammers and hackers that are out there. So anybody that you see that's been trying to scam with your sister, which happened to me actually this past week. I had a sister hit me back up and said, "Oh, why did you hit me back up? And I already followed you." I said, "Well, you know how many followers I have. I didn't create nothing." They try to do my thing exactly the same way I'm telling you guys. And before I knew it, they had a profile of your sister. So I don't do readings. I don't do where I'm gonna say, "Hey, I'm gonna give you money." I don't do any of that. I do say here, or I'll post with my, as y'all will see with my profile, if you would like to support. I don't force nobody's hand, but I definitely thank you for what you're doing, because I send that love back to you, and it's always genuine, it's always pure. I don't give anything counterfeit to you, because at the end of the day, I'm held accountable too. I have to hold myself accountable. And before I leave this earth plane going into the universe of the realm, I want to make sure that I am doing all that I am supposed to do, destined to do, and created to do, to be here for yourself, myself, my family, and my people. So, with that being said, y'all go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to my Instagram if you guys on CynthiaJ.gospel. If you on Twitter, letter N underscore anointed. If you on Facebook, Cynthia J, you can't miss it. You definitely will find me out there. Again, if you like for looking for a birthing doula, again, your sister is a birthing doula. Myself and another sister of mine, we're Healing Hearts Tailor-Made Doula, and we are there for you before and after if you need some help and some assistance when it comes to home assistance after giving childbirth. If you like to have some counseling or some spiritual healing sessions with that bathing of things like rose color baths and stuff like that, and oil rub down with the massagings and stuff of that nature, we are here. We also help with your nutritional guide and so many other things that our hands been blessed with our hearts to do. And with that being said, again, I thank everyone who's on TikTok for chiming on in. If you haven't got a chance to really finish looking, I will hit that button for you guys to recap. For those who are on Instagram, I love you, fam. To Sister Rachel, to my cuz, Marvis, my husband, I thank you all for really encouraging me, because I wouldn't be who I am today if I didn't go through the challenges and the obstacles to get to who I am today. Because I know thyself, and I'm still growing within thyself. So again, for those who are on Restroom on Facebook Live, keep staying tuned. Greater is coming, but the best is already here. So don't let nothing stop you for what you've been destined in pure hands and hearts to do. Make sure your mind and your heart and your spirit is always clear. Make sure it's always pure. Make sure you always eating pure as much as you can, even when you have your moments of imperfection. So I salute you guys. Peace and love, TikTok family. See ya. To all my family on Instagram, I love you guys. Peace and love. Have a blessed, amazing, gratified new cycle. Stay lovable, stay uprooted, stay encouraged. Love you guys. To my family on Restream, thank you guys for always supporting me, always being there. I am truly blessed. Before we go, make sure you watch all of these amazing, amazing things that's up here. I'll be doing a little bit of advertisement on here for you guys to see upcoming events. Do not miss out on what is about to be given unto you. It's going to be an amazing week. I'm excited. So stay tuned for some commercials. Don't go nowhere now. I need you to stay by. Don't go nowhere. Here it comes. Oh, I almost forgot. Get ready for the holidays. So stay tuned for some other great new things that are coming, right? Because what's about to come is going to blow your mind. Make sure y'all careful out there. There's so much stuff going on now these days. It's crazy. See y'all.